No one in the auditorium that night expected anything extraordinary. The stage lights were bright, the crowd was loud, and the judges, especially Simon Cowell, looked like they had already seen 100 performances before this one. Then, quietly, a small 13-year-old Filipino boy walked onto the stage. He looked nervous, almost trembling, holding the microphone with both hands as if it were the only thing keeping him steady. His clothes were simple, his shoes slightly worn, and his eyes carried a mixture of fear and hope. The host asked him his name, and his voice was soft, almost breaking as he introduced himself. When asked why he came, the boy hesitated, then said something that immediately silenced the room. "I want to sing for my family, because life has been very hard." The audience leaned in. Simon, usually skeptical, raised an eyebrow. There was something different about this child, something deeper than talent. The boy wasn't here just to perform. He was here to survive, to be heard, to carry the weight of his dreams on one fragile voice. Before the music even began, the boy shared his life story, and it felt like every word pierced the hearts of those listening. He came from a poor village in the Philippines, where his family struggled every day just to put food on the table. His father worked long hours. His mother tried her best, but sometimes they went to sleep hungry. The boy said he often sang in the streets, not for fame, but to help his parents buy rice. Music was the only escape from the hardships surrounding him. He spoke about nights when electricity would go out, yet he would still sing softly in the dark, imagining a better future. The audience was already emotional, but Simon's face remained unreadable until the boy added, "Sometimes I feel like my voice is the only gift I can offer my family." That was the moment something shifted. Even Simon Cowell, known for his tough exterior, seemed slightly moved. The boy wasn't chasing applause. He was chasing hope. Then came the silence. The music started slowly, and the boy closed his eyes. For a second, it felt like the entire world stopped breathing. And then he sang. The first note that came out of his mouth was not the voice of a child. It was the voice of pure emotion, of pain, of beauty beyond his years. His tone was haunting, powerful, and heartbreakingly sincere. The judges froze. The audience gasped. His voice carried the sound of struggle, but also resilience, like someone who had cried 1,000 tears, but still chose to sing. Simon leaned forward, suddenly paying full attention. The boy poured every ounce of his soul into the song, and with each lyric, the room became heavier with emotion. People in the crowd began wiping their eyes. Some held their hands over their mouths, unable to believe what they were hearing. It wasn't just a performance, it was a confession, a prayer, a child's dream echoing through the theater. As the boy reached the chorus, something unbelievable happened. The judges began to break. One judge had tears rolling down their cheeks. Another whispered, "Oh my God!" The audience was completely captivated, many openly sobbing now. And then the camera cut to Simon Cowell. At first, he tried to remain composed, but his eyes told the truth. His expression softened, the hardness melting away. Simon blinked rapidly, as if fighting emotion, but it was too late. The boy's voice had cracked open something inside him. This wasn't about perfection or technique. This was about heart. Simon's lips tightened, and for the first time in years, viewers saw him truly vulnerable. When the boy hit the final high note, strong, fearless, and full of longing, Simon's eyes filled with tears. The man known for crushing dreams was now witnessing one being born right in front of him. The entire room was shaking with emotion. When the song ended, there was a pause, an unforgettable pause, where no one could move. The boy stood still, breathing heavily, clutching the microphone as if he didn't know what would happen next. Then suddenly, the audience erupted into the loudest standing ovation of the night. People were screaming, crying, applauding with everything they had. The boy's eyes widened in disbelief. He looked like he couldn't understand why so many strangers were cheering for him. Tears began streaming down his face. The judges stood up too. Simon stood last, slowly, almost emotionally overwhelmed. The boy covered his mouth, sobbing now, shaking from the impact of the moment. This child who had sung in the streets to survive was now being celebrated on the world's biggest stage. The applause wasn't just for his voice. It was for his courage, his story, his heart. It felt like the world was telling him, "You matter. You are seen." Finally, Simon picked up his microphone. The room quieted instantly. Simon stared at the boy for a long moment, still emotional, his voice softer than anyone expected. "I don't know what to say," he began, pausing as he swallowed hard. "That was one of the most honest, most beautiful performances I've ever heard." The boy cried harder. Simon continued, "You came here not just to sing, but to show us what strength looks like. You're only 13, but you have a gift that people search for their whole lives." The audience applauded again. Simon shook his head, smiling through tears. "I felt every word, and I promise you tonight, your life is going to change." The boy fell to his knees, overwhelmed. That moment became viral worldwide, not because it was just talent, but because it was humanity. A young Filipino boy reminded the world that music is not about fame. It's about survival, hope, and the power to make even the toughest judge cry.